Welcome, everybody, to the That Kind of Nerd podcast. I am CJ Mellon.
I am Brian Thornton.
And I am Josh Burns.
Welcome to our show. So before we get too crazy into the show, I want to take a quick moment, and I want to apologize to everybody for last week's episode and my terrible audio quality. Apparently, my computer decided that it wanted to record my Mac's microphone instead of the fancy one sitting in front of my face.
Yeah, your computer.
It was terrible, and that's why my audio got miraculously better in the last 2 to 3 minutes. So if you were offended, if thy ears could not stand thy quality, I do apologize. And I hope it didn't take away from the amazing conversation that Josh and Jeff had. But for this week, Brian's back, everybody! We're having.
Wow.
Listen, we gave Jeff
The void has been filled.
We gave Jeff fanfare. I gotta give Brian something when he comes back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because
that void in all of your souls is now complete.
you're
It's
right.
filled with the awesomeness that is.
Brian, you're never apart from me ever. You're always right here in my heart.
I know. But some of our listeners, I'm not that close to their heart just yet.
Fair enough.
I don't know, my man. I think that you were missed.
I certainly hope
I think our people. Oh, Brian's not on this episode. I'm out. It's not true. I'm like, oh, CJ's talking. Can I fast forward? All right.
Well, that's what I do in life.
That's very true. All right. So we got a list. We got quite a list of topics today, and I'm excited. I think we're gonna have a good show. I want to open up the floor real quick to a list that we had come across on the interwebs, and it's from Thrillist, Josh's new favorite website to recommend for us. And it has the best superhero movies, Marvel, DC, and more. It is the top 84.
It's all superhero movies.
Okay, they got them. I mean, they even have some of the mask on here, so I guess they really put superhero in air quotes.
Anything that was based on a comic book is in here, which is pretty sweet.
They dug in.
So first off, kudos for the research that probably had to go into this.
Yep.
And then at the same time, for shame on this list for the order that some of these movies.
Oh, I don't know what group of idiots they had scoring this, but it's way off.
Let's do this. Let's make this easy. Let's do the top 5 movies on their list, all right? And then we're gonna find the movies that bug you the most that are not in the right place.
So you want us to read down the top 5?
Yeah, top 5.
Starting at number 5, we have
number 5.
We have Tim Burton's Batman. We have at number 4, The Dark Knight. At number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. Somehow they give number 2 a pass and go right to number 1, which is Iron Man from 2008.
It's just so weird.
What happened to number 2?
I don't know, man. They gave number 2. I mean, you're looking at the same thing I'm looking at. They gave number 2 a pass. So I'll throw in number 6, which is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. And then we have our quorum of the top 5. Now, before we get way off track and way too crazy,
just to answer one thing, by the way, the group of monkeys banging on the typewriter that made up this list apparently included the senior editor of Thrillist.
I agree. I can agree, at least in part, with Iron Man. Except I don't think it's better than The Dark Knight. So
I agree with that.
There's that. I have no idea what Tim Burton's doing anywhere near the top 5.
Really?
For nostalgia purposes, yeah.
No.
But man,
no. The movie
you gotta give him those Batman movies. I
don't.
No. You had to give him the Batman movie, just one.
I don't.
Batman Returns was very good too. Not top 5 worthy, but still
you know
very
what though?
good.
But Batman Returns is ranked way higher than it should be. I saw it in here somewhere. It's like it's in the top 30,
is.
I think.
And I don't think we see a Superman movie until we get to number 11.
Batman Returns, number 9.
What?
Number 9 is Batman Returns.
Why? See why?
I don't agree with the number 9, but I agree with the first one being in top 5. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
we're talking about Danny DeVito with like a wet Danny DeVito.
Well, that was 9. Batman Returns.
I know.
Yeah. We're talking about Jack Nicholson's Joker in the top 5.
That movie was gross. I mean, but it was vomit-inducing.
But they took comics and put it on the movies, and that wasn't something that people liked to see. That opened up a big mainstream vein for where we are now.
As far as I'm concerned, you could take the 3 Christopher Nolan movies and the 3 Iron Man movies, and that's your top 6.
Wait, okay.
But
no.
look, I got bigger problems. They got.
Oh yeah, what's your biggest problem? What's
my biggest problem is number 16.
X-Men.
Tell me it's Ant-Man. Tell me.
How do you put Ant-Man in the top 20 of comic book movies ever made? When Superman is
because right here,
17.
can I tell you why? Because the author watched the movie mere hours before ranking it.
This is awful.
So like it's just off the heels of and
it's got Ant-Man ahead of both Avengers movies, both Hellboy movies, all Blade movies.
It's behind the first Avengers movie.
It's behind all Avengers movies, all Marvel movies.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that Avengers 1 is ranked higher.
It's not. They got Big Hero 6 at 27. I like Big Hero 6 better than Ant-Man.
I'll disagree for that.
I
did not enjoy. I'm surprised that the Wolverine
Wait! You didn't enjoy Big Hero 6?
I did, just not as much as I did some of the other movies that are on this. Like I enjoyed it more than Watchmen.
I don't think it belongs in top 20.
Big Hero 6.
Okay.
I don't think it belongs in top 20. I enjoyed Ant-Man highly. I don't think it belongs above Dredd or Wolverine.
I agree.
It was okay. It wasn't a great comic book movie, though.
Yeah, it was a good comic book movie.
It wasn't...
Definitely not top 20. I'm agreeing with you.
No Watchmen, no X-Men. Certainly not as good as The Crow, if only in soundtrack purposes.
Oh, the Rocketeer's on here.
I was just about to say, actually, that's the only movie that's in his proper place.
Love that movie. I love that movie.
The only movie that
so
belongs.
much.
It's at number 33, The Rocketeer. Perfect. That's exactly where it should be. Towards the bottom, but not to the bottom.
So,
it was a campy, weird movie. It belongs there.
My one question... My one issue, Iron Man 3 is ranked higher than Iron Man 2.
Because it was better.
No, it was not.
Oh,
yes, it was not better than Iron Man 2.
Of course it was better.
No, it was not.
For the listeners here, I need to control this for 2 seconds. We had a lovely online chat that caused a mere shutdown of communication of, all right, everyone go to their corners and don't talk for a little while. Was when we...
I had to leave the conversation because Brian was failing to see reason.
Iron Man 3 being a great movie is not reason. It is madness.
Oh my God.
Hold on. We were talking about...
It's only the biggest box office hit they had other than
Avengers Age
by
dollars. I don't care about dollars.
It means it was a great movie.
I don't care about dollars.
We need to set the stage. Otherwise, no one knows why you're yelling.
You don't care about dollars because it pokes holes all through your Ant-Man argument.
No.
That's why you don't care about dollars.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
The rest of the world cares about dollars.
It has to do with the fact that Iron Man 3 could have been Robert Downey Jr. eating a freaking shawarma on the toilet for 2.5 hours. It still would have made that amount of money because it had Robert Downey Jr.
No, he ate shawarma at the end of Avengers, and then he sat on the toilet for 2 hours.
I know, but that's my point. Iron Man 3 could have been the fallout of the shawarma, and we all would have gotten to see it.
Shawarma is delicious and does not cause gastrointestinal distress.
My point is you can't base the box office numbers on how good that movie was. That movie failed on especially the villain.
I think you can absolutely base the box office numbers on how good the movie was because the box office numbers don't lie.
Negative.
People went to see the movie.
Avatar did $1 gajillion. It's an awful movie.
How many times did you go see that movie in the theater?
Wait, are you talking about
3?
Are you talking about Airbender or James Cameron's Avatar?
I'm talking about both.
So the reason that they fought, so I can set this so now they can go back in time and listen to your argument, was we were talking about the success of Ant-Man and where we would place it within the Marvel Universe. And Brian had the opinion of it not being as high as we all thought it would be. And we got into an argument as to if it is better or worse than Iron Man 3. Brian and I were in the camp that Iron Man 3 is not as good as its predecessors and as good as the Marvel Universe. Josh took offense and walked away for 10 minutes, and we never saw it again.
No, it's because we relaxed the standards. We're like, oh, we don't really expect anything from Ant-Man, so it's cool. No, that's not okay.
That has nothing to do.
That's what everybody said, and all the pundits online are spinning it like, oh, it's not really a failure because we kind of expected it to be shit.
That's fine. They can spin it all they want.
They lowered expectations.
Right. It's lowered expectations. It's a failure.
Right. But I'm not saying that I'm putting Iron Man up there as the best Marvel movie in the world. I'm sorry, Ant-Man.
No,
I'm saying
clearly
that
not.
It is probably on the lower run of Marvel movies. It's still a good movie. It is better than Iron Man 3.
This list has
Superman Returns and Spider-Man 3.
This list has Spider-Man 3 at 45 and The Amazing Spider-Man, and The Amazing Spider-man at 46.
46? I just saw that bullshit.
No, that definitely should be flip-flop.
Not only flip-flop, but The Amazing Spider-Man should be way up that list.
And the Spider-Man 3 should be falling off the list. Like
Spider-Man 3 should be at 84, right above Ant-Man.
Wait, where's Daredevil fall in this list with Ben Affleck?
83, better than Spider-Man 3 and better than Ant-Man.
Daredevil is 53.
I'm fine with that one.
Listen, there's plenty in the realm. Listen, Superman 3, worse than Spider-Man 3. Jonah Hex, worse than Spider-Man 3. I can
Superman
agree
3?
with that.
Like, you don't like Richard Pryor?
No, it's awful. Richard Pryor does not belong 20 feet near a Superman set.
He was the comedian of note of the time, and he absolutely deserved to be in the movie.
He was the R-rated comedian of that time, and he's in a PG movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the toy.
I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you over
PG. The
backpedaling. I'm sorry. What was the backpedaling? Couldn't hear you.
I think the toy might have been PG, but he didn't really belong in that either. Jackie Gleason was terribly racist.
It's like when you first saw Eddie Murphy as Dr. Dolittle, and like all you're thinking of is like his Delirious sketch. And
no, he wasn't Dolittle.
Yeah,
he was.
The Dolittle remakes are all him.
Yep.
Wasn't that the? Okay.
Eddie Murphy.
Really?
I mean, at that time, he belonged nowhere near a kid's movie. Same thing with Richard Pryor and Superman. And Ghost Rider is definitely worse than Spider-Man 3. So, I mean, Spider-Man 3 is bad, but it's not worse than Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Sorry.
Oh my God, barbed wire's on this list.
Of course it is. It's based on a comic book.
I know. I just I can completely forget that.
Superman and the Mole Men. Wow, they really dug hard. That's a George Reeves film.
So it comes down to this. The list has movies that you're like, I completely forgot that this even belongs.
Like Howard the Duck.
My problem with this list really is that it just seems like they threw a bunch of stuff on a wall and see where it stuck. But that Watchmen isn't in the top 10 is a travesty.
Yeah,
right.
I agree with that.
The fact that Spider-Man 3 is above Son of the Mask also has some problems in my head.
Oh my God, Son of the Mask was awful.
Which is why
I've never seen either Mask movie, so I don't.
You haven't seen the original
amazing.
Mask?
No, because it looked dumb.
But it's so good.
No, it looks dumb.
It's the first Cameron Diaz movie where you're like, oh hi, hello, how are you?
That was
Tell me a
Charlie's
story.
Angels.
No, it was the Mask first. That was her breakout movie, and you watch that movie, and you'll appreciate Charlie's Angels more.
I will do no such thing.
So it comes down to this. We're going to put a link to this article in our show notes, and we're very curious what you guys think about it because we have some strong opinions, and I don't necessarily want to reorder this entire list because I do not have the time to do that. But the top 10, the top 5,
but all of you should feel free to do that.
And wait, do you notice there is no 10? There's no 10.
They're just missing numbers. I keep on remember that little thing. It was just all these 20 facts, and then they skip number 6, and then number 8 is we skip number 6, and number 7 is you just went to go check number 6. That's what I feel like I'm doing.
No, I'm feeling like hold on, am I having a stroke and I'm not reading correctly?
Yeah, I have problems with the list. I think that they got pretty much all of them wrong. I'm glad they're all there. Let's say that, but.
I'm glad that they've compiled the list of every superhero movie so I can restructure it.
I think it's a cool list to have. Just I feel like a superhero movie, but I've seen them all, and then you look at that and you're like, wow, I haven't seen this in 20 years. Let me go watch that again.
The Fantastic Four movie is where it belongs to.
I think for those purposes it's good, but putting Spider-Man 3 above The Amazing Spider-Man is madness.
That's true. Right above it too.
Yeah.
It could have gone either way.
I had to have thought about where to put this, and I'm like, Spider-Man 3, that's just slightly better than The Amazing Spider-Man, and I'm out of my mind. Well, because you like Sandman, apparently.
Listen, never mind. We're not going to... Anyway. The senior editor of Thrillist, Andy, name I'm not going to mispronounce because that's just mean. Next time you make the list, we'll read it again. Just if you could put down the scotch for a minute and focus on numbers and make sure that this list is correct, we'll approve or deny, but this is not that kind of nerd approved. So sound off. We want you to read the article, and we'll put it in our show notes, and we want to hear from you guys about it because... there's just some things that are terribly, terribly off. So that brings us to our next topic, which is something I've been waiting to talk about until Brian was here. It's Comic-Con.
Woo!
So it came and went, and it kind of went, I'm here. Hey guys, I'm gone.
Fizzled out pretty quick.
Really quick. Like usually I'm
Shame.
still reading things about Comic-Con. People are talking about Comic-Con. People are trying to make me feel jealous for not going to San Diego ComicCon. This year they're just like, yeah, I went and I had a good time. It was fun. And
You had some major players that weren't there. Marvel wasn't there, nor was Sony.
And what was the thing that and you said it too, Brian, actually, I'm stealing your words, was it was nice that they didn't show up because they didn't have anything. They're not just there to blow smoke up your ass. They're like, let other people show off what they have because we don't have anything.
Yeah, they showed everything that they had at whatever last con there was when they announced Doctor Strange and the cast of Civil War and everything, and they were like, we don't have anything else to show, so we'll skip it this year.
In fairness, though, they have 15 more movies.
Yeah, they got plenty to show.
But what I'm saying is they have 15 more movies coming out. Couldn't they have prepared a teaser of something that's in production?
But you're going to put out all that money, all that space, and steal the floor just to put like one teaser out? Like,
yeah, because they would have stolen the show.
I'd rather they do something right and then
it's beating a person with a broken leg in a sprint. That's not really an achievement.
Yeah,
Who are they beating?
Everybody.
Not DC. Not DC. DC's trailer went crazy. Both of them went crazy.
Yeah.
For like the 15, 20 minutes. And then seriously, no one's talking about it anymore.
The two biggest things we got out of Comic-Con were from DC.
Were from DC. Right. That's what I'm saying. That's usually not the way it is. It's normally such a bigger deal.
We talked about DC. We talked about Suicide Squad and Batman, Superman. Honestly, what's that?
Nothing. Continue. Carry on.
Honestly, the thing that I thought was just as big, if not bigger, I don't know if you guys saw the Deadpool leak trailer before they pulled it off online.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So good. I'm so excited for that movie. And every trepidation I had about it, every worry I had about it is just gone. I know this is going to be great.
Because it was raunchy. It was really good.
It was raunchy. It had the humor. When they're wheeling Ryan Reynolds into the testing chamber and he's just like, just make sure the costume's not green or animated.
Yeah.
I lost it. It was just everything that Deadpool should be, and I cannot wait for this movie. I can't wait to watch that trailer on repeat over and over
Now,
again.
my question is this, and maybe it's because I haven't been really paying attention to Comic-Con over the last couple of years as much as I was this year. Did it seem like everything was being like leaked? It was like everything was leaked.
That's pretty normal.
Everything's always leaked. Yeah.
It's
I know,
normal.
but it just seemed like a pandemic this year. Like everything that could
pandemic. It was
That's
a
zombie
pandemic.
joke.
I'm just gonna.
It's a zombie joke.
I'm just gonna.
Josh hates zombies.
I know he does. I can't use those terms around you anymore. Jesus.
A pandemic? It was like it took over the internet for a day. And then it was over.
No, man, that was up for like a week.
The Deadpool trailer?
Deadpool is still floating around.
Really?
It was to the point that the trailers were leaked so much that the studios were like, "Screw it, let's just put it."
It was
up
all
now.
over social media for like no more than 2 days, dude. It was quick. It was in and out.
Maybe my RSS
It was
feed is
more like a
control.
quick stomach bug.
Yeah, I'd hate to see your reaction over an actual
Like
pandemic.
it was like a bad shrimp.
Oh my god, my stomach had the flu. Oh
It
my
wasn't
God.
a pandemic.
But and that's normal.
Is it?
Every year.
Okay.
Every year they show trailers, and like you have to be like kind of refreshing your feed as much as possible, because the leaked trailers, they'll last anywhere between 2 hours and like a week. So you don't know, you want to watch it as soon as it comes up, because the studio usually pulls it really fast.
So overall, Brian, since you didn't get to talk about it last week, what's your impression on Comic-Con and how that industry stands? Are we in a good place right now, or are we in a place where we're waiting for shit? Like, what are we taking away from it?
I honestly thought Comic-Con this year was a little lackluster. I was a little disappointed. But we got some awesome major announcements out of it. We got the Suicide Squad, new Batman, Superman trailer. We got the Deadpool trailer, which is really great, and some really cool TV show things. Ash vs. Evil Dead. Some of the Fear the Walking Dead stuff was really cool. Other than that, it was a little bit of a letdown. Star Wars didn't do it for me. They didn't do anything new at their panel, which kind of upset me. There was no other huge announcements this year, which was a little disappointing.
And Paul, before you,
you want to address that now? Because
no, I'll get it at the end.
Okay, because Paul, I got an earful from Laura, and then I got another earful from Paul.
I've got a whole thing set for the end of the show. It's okay.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you the other question. There were a couple odd things that have happened, and a couple people that got snubbed during Comic-Con, and the biggest one that I saw was Kevin Smith. Poor Kevin Smith. He was supposed to have a panel after the Star Wars panel. And Star Wars is like, hey, everybody, fuck the next panel. We're having a concert. Come outside. And everyone in Hall H was like, oh, okay, cool, bye.
Yeah, he was supposed to be there for his Yoga Hosers movie coming out.
That movie needs so much help. And it was a big spotlight was Comic-Con.
It doesn't.
Kevin Smith doesn't need any help.
Right. Kevin Smith has his audience. He knows who his audience is. And everybody who saw Tusk is going to see Yoga Hosers.
I mean, all 5 people who saw Tusk?
Are you kidding?
Saw it.
You're kidding, right?
That movie was like torn apart and
really
ripped to pieces.
Listen, Kevin Smith himself tears it apart. It is what it is. But it doesn't matter because when you're that big a fan, you're going to watch it and you're like, okay, well, everybody gets one. And then you move on.
You're going to say Red State was awful too, aren't you?
I really enjoyed Red State.
Red State was amazing.
Great movie.
I was not going to say that. How dare you, sir?
But that's what that kind of upset me is that I don't know if it was just poor planning on Comic-Con's part or J.J. Abrams just decided to do a big FU to whatever other panels were after him. They dropped the ball with scheduling and they really kind of screwed him over. And it is what it is. And he chuckled it off. He was very gracious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very Kevin Smith about it. I'm sure after everybody left, he was like, "What's going on?" And he followed them. Like
I was gonna say, if you're gonna get screwed by one, panel,
you might as well get screwed by.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a consolation for Kevin Smith. But I mean, he's like the most magnanimous dude you've ever met, right? And he's just real chill. He doesn't have an ego about the way he approaches things. I don't know how much of the Smodcast you listen to or how much of his stuff you follow. It's great stuff. But like he's just a chill guy. I mean, I've been watching and listening to Kevin Smith stuff for the better part of 2 decades at this point. So he's an amazing dude. I'll watch everything he does all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you were gonna snub quote unquote anybody, probably was better that it was Kevin Smith than anybody else.
He's not.
He wouldn't throw a huge hissy.
That's the thing. The sad thing is that he's not going to raise hell about it. But at some point, there's going to be something written. There's going to be some character, something somewhere.
Yeah,
that's going to absolutely be a nod to what happened to him here.
Yeah, but I feel like Comic-Con just dropped the ball when it came to that. If they were going to do that, they belonged scheduling that out and figuring that out so that people got their just dessert.
I did listen to this amazing interview, and you guys should find it. It was actually on the Nerdist, the Nerdist podcast. It was Chris Hardwick. He did an interview at the same time with Sir Ben Kingsley, and then after Ben Kingsley came out, it was Peter Capaldi, the new Doctor. Which I don't know if that means anything to you guys yet. Are you even up and current on Doctor Who right now?
Current? No, I know
who's the new Doctor.
I know Matt who
Smith.
Capaldi is.
The Doctor, right?
This is and look, if I can. I think this is it for Capaldi. I think that the season that premieres in September I think we're going to see a new face at the end.
You think
I heard he wasn't
Yes.
supposed to last long to begin with.
Yeah, I knew he was I thought he would get 3.
So if you watch the trailer for this season, which I have, I don't. I think this is it.
Okay.
And now I'm excited to see him end and somebody else start. Because then
That's the first time you've ever said that about Doctor Who.
What I'm saying is, if Capaldi's my rebound, I need something after that, right? So I can push through the rebound.
Poor Peter Capaldi.
I can push through the rebound to get to the next Doctor and feel okay about myself.
Wow.
Well, when you have someone as good as Matt Smith,
yeah, man,
who treats you right,
okay,
tells you all the right things.
Literally have seen none of Peter Capaldi, and I just
I have seen. I've seen 7 episodes.
I've seen a trailer.
Okay, so Brian has no room to talk.
I've seen 7 episodes.
I'll give Josh the floor for this one then.
And he's a bit funny. You can tell that he's a bit more worn down and a little bit tired of life the way it is, but he doesn't have the redeeming.
My question is, who leaves first? And I'm sorry, we just totally transitioned to Doctor Who, which is not on our list, but whatever. Who leaves first? Is it Clara or the Doctor?
I don't know because I'm only 7 episodes in.
Can it please be Clara?
Let's all hope it's Clara, but I kind of think that the world likes her a bit more than they like Capaldi.
That's fine. Can she now leave? That's all. She's done her purpose.
I think there's probably a contingent of Whovians that really like Clara. Otherwise, she wouldn't have lasted.
They're new. It's all the brand new. Who.
So Laura's rewatching right from the beginning, and she's now into season. She's the Flesh. She's at the Flesh. So season.
Oh, good.
Right? Yeah, good. So she's rewatched it all up to this point, and she's revised her position on Martha. Thank goodness.
Thank you.
And Martha is awful.
No, Martha's not nearly as bad as she originally thought.
Okay, no, she's awful.
She's not. She's not. I disagree with you guys, but she's at this point now where I can see how she's taking in all of these things that she didn't the first time, and it's really cool. Plus, she's motored through 6 seasons in like less than 3 weeks.
I'm rewatching Capaldi just to get ready for the new series, so I'm very excited. So this just serves as a reminder to all our listeners who are like on the edge about this, who keep hearing us talk about it. For the love of God, watch Doctor Who. It's so good. Just muscle through that first season.
I'm gonna transition us to a new topic by saying that I've just wrapped up 2 binge streaming series. I just wrapped up. I rewatched all of Sherlock.
Good.
And I watched The Newsroom start to finish.
Did you finish it?
In about a week, yeah.
Did you not get the feels at the end?
It was ended very well. I have real problems with Sorkin. Oh man,
so the Newsroom is written by Aaron Sorkin.
He could have done so many things, but what he did in season 3 was he turned, for the first few episodes, he turned Jeff Daniels' character into President Josiah Bartlett. He turned Emily Mortimer's character into C.J. Craig for pretty much the whole series. And there were all these sort of West Wing, themes that happened. And I just had... So now what I have to do is I have to go rewatch The West Wing because I have to restore the integrity of these characters in my brain.
How many watchings of this show does that make it if you do it one more time?
I'm going to do it again, and I believe it'll be 8. So 8 times 123.
Yeah. Hang on, I got this.
Right. It's a lot.
You could have cured
it's
cancer.
It's a very big number.
You could have gotten a master's
Brian,
degree.
it's like 1,200 hours.
984 according to my calculator.
123 times 8? Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know where my math was there.
It was thinking of a calendar again, and you
clearly
got lost.
12s. Yeah, no, that's right. But it's 1,000 hours. It's a lot of hours.
Yeah, it is.
Could have earned a degree.
I did, as a matter of fact, earn a degree. But I wanted to wrap up the Who by saying what I just finished, and now I have to restore the integrity of the Aaron Sorkin characters in my brain.
So, Jesus. Again, just watch Who. Read Josh's Doctor Who for Beginners article. It's great. It's a good way to set you in there, and then go do it and just get past season 1 of the reboot. I swear it gets better. It gets better out there, guys. It gets better. So let's talk about something else that's new and exciting and changing its face. Windows 10.
Oh God.
I'm sorry for the chuckle. I really am.
Most out of way segue ever.
That is a great connection.
In my daily life, right? In my job, this is part of my job is preparing for this. Not so much the Microsoft piece, but the sales part of it. And I got to tell you, there's some trepidation out there. Windows has such a low adoption rate as it is that it's bad. So retailers are giving away free copies of Windows 10 when you buy any PC, which is fine.
Which is what Windows is doing too.
Right. But then I think the first thing that turned you and I onto this topic was the Windows 10 updates will be mandatory and free for 10 years.
Right.
Which is
they're going. What's funny for me about this is that they're going the way of Mac. They're going the way of. They're just saying this is not. We're not going to have another Windows like iteration. It's going to be 10, and then we're just going to kind of like update it forever. Apparently,
define mandatory.
So let me define mandatory for you. If you have Windows 10 on your computer, and they release an update, it's going to be one of those things that pops up and won't let you move until you update.
So I can't use my computer until I update.
Yeah, mandatory. Mandatory. The moment they release the update, they expect 100% adoption rate.
That's why they're doing this.
By all Windows 10 users. Okay, and that's fine, CJ.
Except for enterprise users.
Except for enterprise users. Except for this. Windows PCs, and you both know this from the business we were previously in. Windows PCs have an average sale price like $500, and that means that people are buying less capable products that aren't technologically viable for 2 updates. By the time you update your Windows twice,
you're gonna need a new computer.
You need a new computer. And they're forcing these updates, which is basically forcing people into the Surface Pro and other high-end machines, because you can't... Look, if you have a system right now running on 8 gigs of RAM and you have a capable processor, in 2 years, none of that stuff is viable anymore. So and likely you can't upgrade it.
I really want you to put, for our listeners, I want you to put you in this perspective, is that when you went to college, or as you're going to college for some of you, you're going to buy a computer, and traditionally that computer is the one that gets you all the way through college and maybe the first year out, and then you have to buy a new computer. And Windows 10 is not really going to cater toward those people.
Well, that's not true. It will if you're willing to spend $750 or more on a PC.
Right.
If you buy a higher-end Ultrabook or a Surface Pro at $999 or greater, you'll be fine. Now, let me also transition this point. The Mac OS X has been similar in that each year they release a new iteration, and your machine will absolutely update with no problem for a minimum of 3 years. Beyond that, right? So the last 3 iterations of the Mac OS you can run on a computer that was purchased in 2012. But when you get to the newest iteration, the next one, right, your hardware is going to be out of date, but Apple's not forcing you to update. You can run your Mac on the original OS X on Leopard or Snow Leopard.
Yeah,
or
my brother's computer was just on Snow Leopard, and I just put it onto Yosemite, which is basically going from Windows ME to Windows 8. Like that's the scope of the jump and the movement forward.
Right,
and his Mac still runs fine.
It was about a 10-year jump, right? Yeah. From Leopard to
and you can't tell that anything really happened. Everything still works perfectly fine.
And I hate to say it's because the way Macs are wired, but it's because the way Macs are wired.
So my question... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and there's nothing wrong with the way Windows is doing it if you release a statement to the public that lower-end PCs will not be able to run these updates without significant hardware upgrades after the 3-year period, because that's about the lifespan.
Right.
But they're not doing that. And I just think it's irresponsible.
My question is this. Do you think that this is in part... So Windows has a lot of damage control, because Windows 8 was not very well received at all. As a matter of fact, there were people whose business it was to take Windows 8 computers and downgrade them to Windows 7. Like people made money off of that.
But that's not Microsoft's fault. That's the fault of the public for not adapting to a more mobile landscape.
I agree, but my question, which is what I'm coming to, is: do you think this is Windows' way of telling the hardware manufacturers to step their game up and to make better PCs?
No, they can't do that. You can't prescribe a price level, cost level, or hardware level. For instance, but that's literally what Apple does. That's not true. They just say, we are not building a machine below this threshold. You don't have to buy it. And we're okay with that. And they're okay with the market share they have. And you know what? It's growing by leaps and bounds, because what's happening is that Windows users are realizing that they can't use a computer for longer than 12 to 18 months unless they spend $1,000. And at that point,
you might as well get a Mac.
Why don't you just buy a goddamn Mac that's going to run for 5 years and you're not going to have any problems with it, right? And you'll never have a virus and there won't be any problems. But so hardware can't step up its game, because the way PC manufacturers build PCs is they put out requests for proposals for each part. A bunch of companies bid. They choose the lowest bidder. They grab things bargain bin style and assemble it assembly line style, mass produce, and throw it out there so that every 3 months they can change it, update it, and have a new SKU on the shelf.
So I know you've kind of said this, but I kind of wanted explicit out here. if I'm buying a new Windows computer right now and I'm looking at that, what do I need to put into my brain? What thought process do I have, and what stigmas do I need to take out of my own head when it comes to buying a new PC?
If you're looking for a PC that will do internet, email, Microsoft Office, that's all. Facebook and all that, all the apps kind of stuff.
Right.
The basics, right? If you want to do very basic stuff, just spend $499 and buy yourself a Surface 3. Okay? It's got a great battery life. It's got a decent screen. It's small. It's compact. And it runs a full Windows 8, not RT.
And then what happens to the people that currently have tablets and laptops and all-in-ones that are running Windows right now and maybe don't have the most up-to-date specs? What do those
then they
customers
should
do?
not update to 10.
Should not upgrade to Windows 10.
Don't do it. Just I mean, at some point Windows is going to stop upgrading your OS. You can continue running on Windows 8 as long as you want, but you have to do routine maintenance. You have to clean up your system. You have to make sure you're not cookies and all kinds of background services that just junk up your PC. You have to get it cleaned regularly. You have to do tune-ups.
Like a car.
Yeah, seriously. Make sure you do high mileage oil.
No, seriously.
Seriously, it's the same analogy. It works.
But it's an analogy I used to use all the time in our previous job. When it comes to computers, you get what you pay for. My first car was a $400 piece of junk, and it lasted me about as long as a $400 piece of junk should last you.
So basically, Windows 10 is the equivalent of my Mustang right now. Right? It doesn't start right on the first try. It's got some rust on it. It's a little busted. The seat's broken. The radio doesn't work.
Windows 10 is that way?
Windows 8.
Windows 10 on an old PC. That's what it'll be like.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's got that weird styrofoam screeching noise that happens.
That got fixed.
I don't care.
It doesn't make that sound.
The message is
your car is a death machine.
If your current PC just barely meets the minimum requirements for Windows 10, don't install it.
Don't do it. All right. The good news is this. I've been playing with Windows 10's technical preview, and I have a device that is actually set to do that. It's got a good RAM. It's got a good processor. It's beefed up.
You didn't brick this one?
No, I did not brick this one.
Oh, okay.
It's absolutely positively splendid. I will tell you, it's a very nice operating system.
Because it's Windows 7.
Yeah, pretty much, really.
Because it's Windows 7. That's why it's great.
They took the stuff from Windows 7 that worked. They took the stuff from Windows 8 that worked. They said, screw you, 9, and they made but they did so much more, Brian, than just like copy paste. They really did some great things in there, and I'm a big fan of it. Josh is looking like he's about to have an aneurysm now.
I hate to say this. They're still so, and they're not even. It's not even fragmented because that's not what it is. They're just separate, and they're going to go the way of the gun because they can't adapt to a mobile OS because Windows 10 is awful, mobile or PC. Apple has the right. Hold on, Apple has the right idea, and Google has the right idea. If Google could somehow partner or otherwise with Windows and infuse all of the synchronicity or convergence, whatever you want to call it, into Windows for Android users, Apple would be in big trouble.
If that's assuming that Google would also stop doing everything that Google does that we hate, like shit.
I understand. What I'm saying to you is that Windows is fine as a PC,
right? But
when you need when you need it to sync with your mobile device, you are shit out of luck. Right? Unless you have iTunes and then you got an iPhone, you might as well just have a Mac. So if you're an Android user, you don't really have a PC solution, and that's half the world. So if they could come up with a Windows-based OS that was full convergence like Apple is like Mac OS is with iOS, then Apple would be in real trouble, but Windows isn't there, and there's no good application for mobile on Windows.
Okay. So everyone get ready for it. There's a lot coming down. Windows 10 is actually coming out on the 29th. If you are running Windows 7 or Windows 8.1, again, and you meet the standards, or actually exceed the standards.
Way exceed, CJ.
You have to exceed the standards of Windows 10. We would recommend that you upgrade for it. It will be free. If you are running different versions, there's different prices, about $119 to $200.
I want to leave you with this. Think about this. If the system requirements say minimum 4 gigabytes of RAM, Okay? Forget your processor for just a moment. That means that as soon as you power up the machine, just the system requires that much RAM to operate. The minute your system boots up, you're already running background processes and software that's taking up more resources. You will not be able to function properly.
If you have quick questions about this, and hey, listen, does my computer, should I do this? If you're just worried, just hit us up on Twitter, send us an email, leave us a comment on our website. We'll gladly just take a quick look at some specs and just, see if we can just give you a quick off-the-cuff thing. Again, I always recommend that you talk to someone who's tech-savvy or go, if your computer does not meet the standards, and pick up a new one and talk to someone there. But I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I will be available for breakfast and computer buying anytime.
All you have to do is find Brian on Tinder, swipe the appropriate way, and he'll meet you for breakfast.
Swipe right if you want to buy a new computer.
And remember, ladies, the cat to male ratio is it's very low,
super low,
just very low.
It's very low right now.
I don't even know the proper way to swipe on Tinder. I didn't want to say it. I don't know either. It's an app I just never used.
I don't know how this thing works. What do I do?
We'll get some sort of correction. Some bot guy will comment, "It's swipe left, asshole."
Whatever, dude. I don't know which way to swipe. I don't use Tinder. I do all my stuff on back pages. So.
I was just about to do.
I'm ahead of you. I'm ahead of you.
Can't believe you stole that thunder from me. I want that thunder back. Damn it!
You may not have it.
I demand it back. So there was another article that Josh had thrown our direction. I thought it was silly, but yet whimsically relevant to the world that we live in, especially if you live in Pennsylvania. Which, by the way, I drove past the Wawa headquarters right outside of
Springfield. Yeah, Springfield. Yeah, Wawa
I did
University.
Not know it was there.
Yeah. Delaware
Dairy
County
farms and everything.
Delaware County, Wawa University, and we are sort of we're sort of ground zero for this battle because Sheetz is Western PA.
Which is far superior to the shitty Wawa.
You are directly out of your mind.
You
negatory,
bite
sir.
your tongue.
I was so excited when you throw this in because I knew you were just be like, yeah, everyone likes fucking Wawa. I don't understand.
No. Now, listen, I can make some distinctions, and there's all right, so a friend.
I enjoy Sheetz lighting better.
A friend of
That's
mine.
About it.
Sheetz lighting. A friend.
I think when I take my iPhone out to take pictures of my mozzarella sticks, everything looks splendid.
A friend of ours put this on Facebook a couple weeks ago, saying he doesn't understand how anyone would choose Sheetz over Wawa. And then Craig Phillips, who writes on our site, was very outspoken. I was pretty outspoken. Look, if I want a hot dog, I'll go to Sheetz because the choices are better.
Right,
but
they have far superior food.
But no.
Yep.
Hot dogs.
Yep.
Hot dogs.
Nope. Even their meatball subs are far superior to that.
You go to hell and you die.
No. I have gone to hell and died. I've had to eat a Wawa hoagie before.
Wawa classic meatball with provolone and Parmesan dominates all.
Yeah, absolutely. Dominates.
It's funny because
it's terrible.
You threw this up, and I said to CJ at work today, I'm like, why would we talk about this? He's like, well, yeah, because Sheetz is better. I'm like, are you crazy?
Right.
And then he's like, that's why we're talking about it.
Listen, a schmishkid and a schmuffin are the best ways to start your morning.
No. Wawa, turkey sausage and egg white on a bagel. Best breakfast sandwich.
Schmishkid.
Yeah. Nope.
It's fun to say and fun to eat.
It's not fun to say. It's not fun to eat.
Say it.
And
I want to hear the words come out of your mouth.
way longer at Sheetz than you do at Wawa. I don't know why. Also,
because there's more people there because the food is better.
Hoagie Fest rules the nation. Wawa
you need a gimmick like a $5 footlong. You're right.
Wawa has better coffee, 1,000,000 times better coffee.
I don't drink coffee, so
that's a damn shame.
I can maybe give that to Wawa.
And I had when we first moved to Norristown, me and my boys, there was just down the street a Wawa, and this dude Jimmy was behind the counter making our sandwiches every day. I still know Jimmy. We still talk. Cool dude. And then when we got our second apartment, Wawa was just outside. The parking lot was 2 stories down from my balcony there. And when it snowed, you didn't have to take the steps. You could just jump off the balcony into the snow pile 2 stories down.
Yes.
And you could walk right into Wawa's parking lot. But then it was a 1/4 mile walk back to the front of the house. So there's that.
With your massive amounts of diarrhea from eating Wawa, I'm sure you ran.
Dude, look, anything that Wawa does in general, except for hot dogs, is better than anything Sheetz does.
I can't disagree with you even more. The reason we're talking about this is because Wawa was actually named America's favorite convenience store, which also beat out things like 7-Eleven and things of that nature as well.
Quick Trip. It was all right. So they have Wawa.
In other news, 7-Eleven was voted most likely to get stabbed.
Yeah, Wawa is number 1. Quick Trip is a Midwestern. It's number 2. Sheetz number 3. Speedway, which is now taking over all the Hess stations.
Yes, which is so weird.
It is weird, except I like
it was like
Speedway.
No notice. It was like gone.
Phillips 66, Arco, Exxon, they're all on there. All your gas stations, but
where's Flying J? Is that on the very bottom?
No, and you know what? Quick Check, which is a Jersey, which I like a lot. I like Quick Check better than Sheetz as well. And they're not on there, but I think they should be. Wawa is by far the very best convenience store in America.
You know my home layout, Josh, because you live by there. Yeah. I have a Sheetz exactly, by the way. I'm not even exaggerating. It is to the nth degree, exactly 1 mile from my front door.
Wait, so where's the Sheetz out there in Trexler?
The Sheetz at the very end of Green Valley Road.
Oh, you're talking about where our parents live. So here's
where our parents live.
Here's what happened. So there's CJ and I. Our parents live in basically the same neighborhood. His are at the bottom of the hill, mine are at the top of the hill. The Sheetz is, I mean, if you...
It's literally 1 mile.
If you sat on a skateboard, you'd be there in 30 seconds. Yes. Right? Down the hill, right?
Yes.
I deliberately drive an extra 2 miles to the Wawa.
Good show, sir.
Away from the my dad's like, hey, you know what? We need lunch. Go grab a couple sandwiches from Sheetz. I'm like, okay, cool. What do you want? And he's like, a burger. I'm like, they don't have those. Yeah, they have burgers. I'm like, they don't have those. You want like a hoagie, a meatball sandwich, a chicken sandwich? He's like, yeah, give me an Italian hoagie. That'd be good. I bring back an Italian hoagie from Wawa. He's like, oh, these are better anyway. But look, I'll give you this. Sheetz has burgers that are awful. They have fries that are awful.
Whoa, no.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah. The fries are great.
I'll tell you what,
I do they're phenomenal.
Because I've just recently spent a lot of time in Western PA and Ohio, and they don't have Wawa there because the Sheetz people murder the Wawa people.
Amen.
It's the chicken bites. The small chicken bites are just amazingly good, and they are better than Wawa's homestyle chicken bites. There's that.
But you have to wait like a half hour for them.
Yeah, you got to wait like 45 minutes in line to get 6 chicken bites.
And you know what? They're glorious.
No, they're not.
It's not worth half hour.
It's not worth that much time, and you know what?
You talk to the people behind the counter, and you get to know the Sheetz people.
I don't want to get to know you. Don't get to know them.
Wait a minute. You'll get to know the Wawa guy, but screw the guy working at Sheetz.
No, you get to know the Wawa guy when it was a guy you walked up to the counter and he took your order. Now I punch it on the screen. I don't have to talk to anybody. I talk to no one in there.
Also, you go to a place every day. You better know the guy who's making your hoagie. If I'm waiting for a half hour, I'm talking to the guy behind the counter about why the hell is it taking me a half hour to get freaking chicken?
Louie's girl works at the Wawa near my house, so I see her all the time.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's good.
You gonna get invited to their wedding where they'll serve hoagies?
I don't think so.
Oh my god, it'd be amazing if Wawa catered the wedding.
Wawa catered the wedding?
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Regardless of what's happening, Wawa needs to cater that wedding. I don't know.
As long as I can get pickles on the side, I'm happy. And you know what you can't get on the side at Sheetz? Pickles.
Sounds like a euphemism.
It's not.
I'm sure you could buy it.
Sheetz doesn't offer it. And if they would, their pickles would be total shit.
You would need to find another way to say pickle. They're schmickles.
And they're rolls. What rolls are you using, Sheetz? Why are they so dense? Your food shouldn't squeeze out of the sandwich as you're eating.
Do you remember the deli dog at Sheetz, by the way? Does anyone remember this glorious hot dog?
No, because
at Sheetz hot dogs. I thought we agreed that Sheetz hot dogs are far superior to that. Is it on a hot dog
roll or is it on some concoction?
No, it's on like a nice deli roll.
Nope.
Like it's on like a hoagie roll.
Is it on a hot dog roll?
It's a really thick dog.
Then it's not a hot dog.
But it
nope.
What?
Then it's a sausage sandwich.
My bread dictates my hot dog?
Yes.
So when I'm out of hot dog buns and I use a loaf of white bread,
every time I end up having to go to Sheetz, and every time I end up having to go to Sheetz and I go, I really want a hot dog, and they ask me if I want a pretzel roll, I cancel the order and leave and go to a Wawa.
I love pretzel rolls.
You are destroying the American hot dog.
pretzel. I want pretzel everything.
They
CJ,
offer me.
I had a pretzel bun today at my roast beef sandwich at work, and it was delicious.
They offer me mayonnaise for my hot dog, and I asked them if they're Canadian.
Listen, there are a lot of.
CJ, you just finished Rocky. You should be more American than this.
Rocky,
I'm just saying
Wawa. If Wawa existed,
I
then
guarantee
Rocky
you-
would have gotten his coffee at Wawa.
I think
Guarantee
that
you-
Rocky existed. Wawa and Rocky did coalesce in Rocky Balboa. I never see him go to a Wawa.
I'm pretty sure every Sheetz employee has not seen the Rocky movies.
That's
Also,
not true.
Just saying.
My
I'm
little
not sure
brother
he
worked at
could afford
Sheetz,
a
and he saw
Wawa.
the Rocky movies.
Like he was going to the market every day and then going to work, and he was probably just having Spider cook him up something in the kitchen.
Anyway.
Or the 80s robot. Whichever.
Or that.
Would you like a tab or new Coke?
Happy birthday, Paulie.
Anyway.
Yeah, speaking of Paulie, you should probably answer his question.
Okay. All right. So let's get on to this because I do want to take the time.
Laura
to do
took
this.
exactly the same offense, but she didn't leave a drunken voicemail.
Paul didn't leave a drunken voice.
He was thoroughly inebriated.
Was it his 30th birthday? 'Cause
Yes,
there's a very
I
good
was.
chance.
So I went to the birthday party, and after he had a few beers and maybe a shot in him, he pokes me on the shoulder and he's like, "Hey, what the hell's CJ's problem?" And I'm like, "Are you talking about the inconsistencies in his arguments between Batman and Star Wars?" He's like, "Yeah, what the fuck is his problem?" So I said, "You know what, Paul? You should leave a voicemail for CJ, but not right now. Wait a little bit. Wait a little bit."
Let
And he did.
Let me see when it came in. He sent it on the 17th, and I'll find the
Oh,
time.
no, that was that night. Because I got a text message that night that said he moods me when he meant miss.
Or he was outside your window and you didn't look.
I was in Florida at that time, so that'd be really weird.
He's an impressive man. So, have you guys heard it yet?
No.
I have
Okay,
not.
let me play it for you, and then I'll go ahead and I'll do my answer. Here we go.
Hey guys, long time listener, first time caller. So one of the things I want to point out that CJ actually called out was he really wanted a lot more from the Batman vs Superman trailer. However, when the Star Wars trailer came out, he's like, "Oh, I don't need to see anything yet. I'm good. Like nothing else." But that's really contradictory, and it kind of like throws me off a bit. Plus, what more do you need to see out of the Batman vs Superman? Especially when, like, Alfred calls it out, like, he's not our enemy. Something I want you guys to discuss and kind of revisit, if possible, because, realistically, it's a big miss, especially when the Star Wars trailer comes out and you have a lot more questions in comparison to the Batman vs. Superman trailer. Especially when you have a lot of characters that come out, like the guy with the three-sided lightsaber and all the other stuff. Who are these characters? Whereas with Batman vs. Superman, you have, like, all these solutions that kind of pop out one after another. Okay, Batman doesn't want Superman to destroy the world, so on and so forth. A couple answers, really quickly. Thank you for your time. Awesome show, guys, by the way. Great job. Let me know if you need anything. Bye.
So, by the way, the translation into text is so off. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Did it give you his breathalyzer score when you replayed it?
Yes, it did.
Okay,
So much that it just goes, no. All right, so I'm going to take this. All right, here we go.
All right. Take
I'm
it away.
ready. Okay, so Paul, I have to say one thing first. Thank you very much for calling in and calling me out on the contradictions and hypocrisy of this. Thank you for taking the time, especially on your birthday, to go ahead and leave us the voicemail. Now, the reason I didn't address this on last week's episode is because Paul actually called in the middle of us recording the show with Jeff. So that's why we didn't get to address it. So I want to take a moment and do it now. And the first things first, there are absolutely double standards and hypocrisy when it comes to these subjects. And if you're expecting me to just have some kind of epiphany where I throw that aside and I treat them entirely equal, I'm just going to unfortunately just let you down. But I'm going to do the best I can to try to make sure that my thoughts and you get into my thought process here. So let's start with Josh is giving me the middle finger right now on our chat. Just here's how we go. You ready? I really think that your bigger issue is the Batman versus Superman stuff. That's to my indifference for it. And it comes down to this. It comes down to a matter of trust. These are relatively new actors playing these roles. And I don't mean in the sense that they aren't experienced. It's just the fact that they've never been in these roles before. So the guy who has played Superman, whose name escapes me right now,
Henry Cavill.
Thank you. Was the actual Superman figure for about 25 to 40 minutes within the movie and left extremely conflicted at the end of it. It ended with him being in the most unstable state of mind that I've seen that character. Now, the other thing is this. Brian, I'm going to let you chime in here for 2 seconds. The movie that's coming to the Batman versus Superman is pretty... we were thinking it's going to hold close to the source material, right?
We hope so.
Frank Miller.
Frank Miller's source material.
Frank Miller. But you got to remember that Frank Miller story that it is based off of, it's completely different.
But,
it's
right, but we're hoping to hit some of those big bullet points and kind of lead
the
to
big bullet point being that Batman will beat the shit out of Superman. That's the big bullet point we hope it stays true to. The rest is ancillary.
So into that, I've never read that graphic novel. I am unfamiliar with the source material.
What?
Yep, hit me now. It's not something that everyone can cringe. It's not something that I've put the time into. It's legitimately on my list after Paul.
I will lend this to you.
Thank you. After Paul's message, it's been on my list to hunt down and find so I can read, so I can be familiar with it. So I'm uneasy with this. So I don't know. I, unlike many fans, don't know where the story is going. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So leaving Superman where he was at the end of Man of Steel to coming into this movie, I don't fully get his state of mind. I'm still a little trapped as to where this character is landing because he's such a conflicted person. And when it comes to the Ben Affleck version of Batman, while I'm very excited for it, by the way, because I left that trailer more excited for his performance than I did, I'm also still perplexed and I'm not 100% on board for his state of mind. I don't get it. What we saw in the trailer reminded me of like a blackout night where you have fragments of what's happening and you're trying to piece it together from a person who doesn't know that story. So I have to trust that Ben Affleck and the actor again, please, who's playing
Henry
Superman?
Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Thank you, Henry Cavill. I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. That they're going to make sure that I can understand their state of mind in enough time span where it doesn't feel like we're dragging out the story and we can get to the drama. And the other part that comes into that is I'm not 100% sure that I am ready for Zack Snyder to tell me that story either, in the sense of I don't know if he can quickly tell me their states of mind with it. So if I was in control of the entire thing, I would love to have a little more of the Batman perspective so I can be in his state of mind. So I can kind of...
Superman?
No, I want to know Batman more. I know where Superman is. He's extremely conflicted. I want to know Batman's perspective more because I just don't know it because I don't know the source material. So let's move on to...
Can I say something?
No,
please?
no.
I have to say something.
Not until CJ addresses the Star Wars part of the argument.
So this is the next part here. So this is, again, where I'm saying I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry there's double standards. But it comes down to this. My issue of trust, right, for the Star Wars movie was the prequels, and that leaving such a bad taste in my mouth. What made the first 3 movies so good was their use of practical effects to tell that story. And the fact that the story was so strong because the special effects in that story were special. They weren't there just to distract you or because they could. And when you look at the prequels, the special effects there kind of dominate things and the story falls to the wayside. So as the movie was being made and as we're seeing the shots of the Millennium Falcon built to scale, the towns that are built to scale. And what really excited me too was also the stuff that they showed at Comic-Con. And Paul, you know me, and you guys know me too. I studied design for theater and I studied, all those aspects of that. So I take those things to heart. And what I see is J.J. Abrams, the king of lens flare, is taking this to heart and is going to make sure that the story is super important. Now, when I was talking about to tie these things together when it comes to a matter of trust, I was saying that these characters and these actors in Batman versus Superman haven't been these characters very long. But Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, and Harrison Ford have been their established characters for decades. So I know that they're going to be okay and they're going to hold true to those characters because they are those characters. There's no one else who could be Han Solo. So when it comes down to the new characters that are coming through, they are a mystery. They're not established. There's no history to lean on. And we all know that everyone has some kind of attachment to Batman or to Superman. And to be honest, Superman holds a very special place in my heart from my life. And it's things I don't want to go into. but he's very special, and the way that they've put him and me not understanding his frame of mind just makes me uneasy, because I don't ever see Superman in my head in the way that I've had him as a weak person or super conflicted at most times. He usually has his stuff together. So I'm just a little worried in the matter of trust for the story that I'm coming into, because I don't know it, and I have to trust that where we're going is going to be enjoyable for me. And I know it's a double standard that I have trust in one and not in another, and I'm sorry about that. I really am. But I hope that at least maybe you can understand the state of mind coming into things, that I just want to see more from that story, so that way I know I can trust what I'm coming into. So you two, Josh and Brian...
Shut up, I'm typing. Shut up, I'm typing.
Looking like you're ready to explode.
All right, well, if Josh is typing, I'll talk first.
I hope at least my thought process...
I'm done typing.
I hope my thought process was at least...
Yes, I followed your entire thought process, so I'm going to say quite a few things.
Go for it.
First, the Batman versus Superman, you feel the need to be explained more. First, that's why it's a trailer, not a movie. Secondly...
You're right, yeah.
How the hell is it the studio's responsibility to educate you on the story? It's in the trailer. It's not. It's just not.
Right.
Hold on. I'm not even sure what this applies to, but I typed in caps. No. So just go back and listen, and whatever that refers to is what I was saying no to.
Okay.
And then also, who are you to decide whether Zack Snyder is qualified to tell the story to you or anyone else? No.
I'm a moviegoer.
No, you're not qualified. None of us are qualified to decide whether Zack Snyder is qualified to tell the story. Also, and then we get into Star Wars. There are very few stories that have been bastardized as far as the expanded Star Wars universe. I mean, everybody's got a different take on it. There's too many authors. There's no possible way that, it could go in a million different directions, and they're all in some way bad. Your theater background doesn't influence filmmakers' decisions. They play to the crowd, not the stagehands. Anyone can be Batman, and that's sort of the beauty of that character. At the end of Dark Knight Rises, what's Joseph Gordon-Levitt is Batman.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight Rises. The platform rose out of the ground. He's the new Dark Knight. That's the whole point.
But I knew that character at the end of that movie.
You know Batman. Don't you know Batman?
Yeah. I don't know this Batman. I don't know this one.
Do you know Batman?
I don't know about Robin dying. I don't know about what's been happening in that universe.
But do you know Batman?
I know Batman in the sense of I know that
what's going to happen. What's going to happen to someone who takes away someone Batman loves?
Yes.
Then you know Batman. Anyone can be Batman, right? Not anyone. So Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford, they are those characters. So really, no one else can ever be those characters. But anybody can be Batman. He's a man with a mask. Anybody can be Superman. Anybody can be Spider-Man.
Hence why we can't judge those two at the same caliber.
What? Of course, you can't.
No,
apply,
not everyone can be Han Solo, so everyone can be Batman.
But this story isn't about Han Solo. It's about his children,
right?
And they can be anyone. That's the same way as anyone can be Batman,
right? Which is why I'm excited for that character, because it could be anybody.
You're saying the same thing.
No, so. But there's no establishment on those kids. They don't have a backstory. I don't know them at all. The last thing
I typed was, holy shit, this is about telling a story. There's no way the inner machinations of the minds of comic book readers should be considered when applying artistic integrity and vision to the big screen. All they have to do is adhere to a storyline. And I believe that with all the movies coming out, they're going to adhere to, in some way, to the storyline. But they can't worry about what everybody's thinking when they're making these movies. They just have to. I'm not
asking them to.
But you just did.
I'm telling you, this is my thought process. The masses have already accepted this. That's fine. I'm the weirdo. I'm the one out. I get it.
Over to Brian.
All right. So here's what I have to say, and I'll spend more time on the Batman thing. I know the story. I've read the stories. I've read them multiple times. Here's the beauty about Batman and superhero movies and comic books in general. They have been changed about 6 times since.
Right.
So, depending on who's doing it, depending on what movie it is, what animated feature it is, what video game it is, the death of Robin has been done about 6 different times in different ways, and they've all been good. Right. There's always that main bullet point that you want to touch on, and that's it. You're worried about not knowing the source material for this movie, and that is fine. I'm telling you, you don't need to know the source material.
Don't need it.
Every time a comic book movie, a superhero movie comes out, you go, hey, Brian, do I need to know anything? Do I need to read anything? And my answer is always no, because
they're going to provide the origin.
They're going to provide that information for you, A. B, they're going to do it in a different way. Comic book is a completely different medium than movies or television or video games. And it has to be done with the idea in mind that not everybody knows the comic book story. You keep on referencing the fact that this is based on a comic book story, and I can tell you one thing, it's probably not. There is one constant in this movie that links to a comic book story, and that is Batman beats the shit out of Superman.
Right.
And that can happen any way, anytime,
right.
As long as the fight is cool,
that happens, as long as they punch each other in the face.
As long as the fight is cool, I don't care. That's fine. All right? The story you're referring to is an alternate timeline future where Batman is 67 years old. So we're already off book.
Right.
Batman is in his 60s in this story, and he beats the crap out of Superman. Really kind of drives home how badass Batman is because he's an old man beating up on an alien.
Hell yeah.
But that's the story you're referring to. And I'm telling you right now, this movie has nothing to do with that, with the exception of that one fight. That's it. So your worry, I need to be inside the mind of Batman. I'll tell you what, put yourself in that scenario. If you were in Metropolis and you watched the entire building fall down on people that you loved and knew, how pissed would you be?
Right. We said that the last time, but that's not the perspective that I have.
No, but it's easier. It's easier to have a polarizing perspective, or easier to assume that you know the Star Wars story because the Jedi are absolutely good and the Sith are absolutely evil, and sort of ne'er the twain shall meet. But I don't think
that's how this story is going to be.
That's my whole point. I think there are going to be levels of extremes there.
Right.
And I think the world is sort of blurring the lines. And I don't think any of us can possibly know what to expect, especially with how far the expanded universe has gone. I am more concerned that I don't know more about Star Wars.
Exactly. Me too.
And
as much as I love J.J. Abrams and I trust J.J. Abrams, I have loved his past 4 movies. It's a little worrisome that he didn't show a new trailer at Comic-Con. The last trailer we got was a teaser trailer in December. It didn't show anything.
It showed nothing.
It showed Han and Chewie, and we all stood up and applauded, and we were really happy about it because that's all we need out of a teaser trailer. But now you go to Comic-Con, you belong showing a legit trailer, and that's what Batman Superman did. They had a teaser trailer, and it didn't show you much, and then they showed a real trailer, and now, okay, I understand Batman's frame of mind. Batman does not trust this person. I understand why they're fighting. I understand where this is going, and that's all I need from a trailer. I don't need the deep dive. That's what the movie is for.
And right, I agree too. And I know I'm asking partly to just see the damn movie so I can know that the movie's good. I really do get that.
Well, in March you will. But here's the problem.
I really do. I understand the hypocrisy.
But they're both going to be phenomenal, and you know
they're both going to be great. But here's the problem.
I know. I've agreed with that. I know that both of these movies are going to be great. I mean, I was on record saying that.
I'm much more concerned with the character development of Star Wars than I am with Batman and Superman.
And here's the problem with that,
that's
too.
The opposite. I'm not worried about the character development in Star Wars.
How can you not be? You don't know any of these people.
You don't know any of them.
Right.
And the problem,
that's the beauty of it. That literally is the beauty of that part, is that I don't have to know because they're never been established before. They are the blank canvas, and there's nothing more exciting and energizing than a blank canvas.
Dude,
the problem is shackling yourself to hold on. There's a problem with shackling yourself to previously established things and characters and mindsets, and there's so much energy in a blank canvas.
The Skywalker family in the Star Wars expanded universe gets incredibly convoluted and very
but I've
bad.
never read the expanded universe.
Neither have I, but I know I have friends that have.
Okay, but that's not what we're talking about.
But that's exactly what you're talking about.
So you know that Star Wars is the expanded universe now on the screen?
It's
the same
you don't
know
thing.
That. How do you know? You just complained about not seeing anything from that movie. How can you say you know that it's going to be the expanded universe?
No, what I'm saying is you're saying you have confidence that they're going to take it the right way, and we don't know that they are.
But I am trusting in that staff.
You're not trusting in Zack Snyder and his staff?
No,
Did you?
I,
No,
I saw
but
I saw
he's got
Immortals. That's why.
Yeah, he's got a fish to whatever that
I
saying
have a
is.
love-hate relationship with Zack Snyder. I love
Because
his
he
stylization
likes
and I hate
half
his
his
stories
stuff
at
and
times.
hates half his stuff. Here's the more alarming part, CJ. Zack Snyder, whether you like it or not, is A, directing this movie, and B, is the creative control of everything DC does. So I got news for you. His hands are all over Suicide Squad too.
Right,
And
you
every
know how
movie
much
since.
I love the DC story arc that we're going down
Here
so far.
is what is more alarming. Batman Superman comes out in March of 2016. December is Star Wars. December 18th, and I still don't know anything.
I'm still okay. I'm still fine.
No, you shouldn't be. You should be very worried. We are 5 months away from one of the biggest movie releases ever, and you know nothing about it.
How did I start this conversation? What are the words that came out of my mouth at the very start? There's hypocrisy and double standards, and I'm sorry, and if you're expecting me to see some light and epiphany, I'm going to disappoint you. I'm like, from the beginning, let you know that I was not going to see...
I don't care that I'm a hypocrite. That's what I just heard.
No, I'm telling people that I have double standards for these two movies for the reasons that I just listed.
But here's the thing. The last three
and I'm sorry
Batman
that you feel
movies-
that way.
But listen, the last three Batman movies were fantastic.
Right.
Can you say the same thing about the last three Star Wars movies?
No, and I
No,
said that.
they were
I said that
awful.
was my reason of trust. I have to trust that what they're going to do is better than the last three Star Wars movies.
They weren't awful.
And they
were
are
not awful. Not awful.
But listen, regardless
Episode
of,
one,
of the degree of awfulness.
hold on. You're going to defend pod racing in episode one,
No, I'm not going to defend pod racing.
and the Senate,
I'm going
and
to defend the
Jar Jar
story.
Binks.
I was
Regardless-
mesmerized by the story in all three.
We've talked about the machete order here of Star Wars and cutting out episode one.
I
and still
can't
having
do
a
it.
complete
I
story.
can't do it.
You can though, like maybe not you,
Right.
just like I can't get very, I can't get uncomfortable at Star Wars right now, and I can get a little queasy
But I've
about
seen
Batman
I've
versus
seen
Superman.
episode 1. You've seen jack shit from episode 7, and you're all about
Right.
it.
I'm okay with it because I'm trusting the people that are on the project. And just like Brian said, I have some inconsistency problems with Zack Snyder.
What actors are worth trusting on that project? And don't
Besides the main three.
No. That's the thing. I'm not
who's
crediting
worth
those.
trusting.
They're not the ones that I have to trust.
He's worried. He trusts J.J. Abrams.
Well,
That's it.
everybody
I
trusts
trust
J.J. Abrams. That's fine.
Right.
We all love
that he's
J.J.
going to
Abrams.
tell the story.
That's why he got the job.
That he's
because
brought
people
in
trust
unknown
him.
actors to so many projects with such great success. I don't worry. J.J. Abrams does not sign on for shit, and Zack Snyder has.
I trust the stories of Batman and Superman way more than I trust the stories of Star Wars.
Because they're established stories, right? Because you know
Not
some
only
of this
established, but they
because you
don't
know
ever
that
waver
character.
too far from the mean. You know what I mean? There's a standard
Right.
deviation.
Listen,
there.
That's what, and that's the
Whatever
double
your
standard right
problems-
there.
But here's where your double standard goes to shit. Whatever your problems with Zack Snyder are, they are on projects that are not related to comic books. You don't like Sucker Punch. Well, boo-hoo. Not a lot of people like Sucker
I
Punch.
actually did kind of like.
I like Sucker Punch.
I enjoy Sucker
I
Punch.
like
really
Sucker
do.
Punch.
But
I
here's
did
the
not
thing.
like the Immortal
Watchmen.
of that.
Watchmen. Did you enjoy
Loved it.
Watchmen?
Loved it.
Did you enjoy
Absolutely.
300?
Hence why I have some trust for
Answer the
Zack
question.
Snyder.
Answer the question. Did you enjoy 300?
Yes, everyone
Uh,
did.
Did you
Yes.
enjoy Man of Steel?
Yes.
Yes.
That's all you need. That's all you need. Zack Snyder has proven
I-
3 times over now
Just-
that he can take established characters and established story and make a badass, kick-ass, awesome movie out of it, and he's just going to do it again. So shut up. and
Brian
just
made
enjoy
way
it.
better arguments here than I did. I'm with
That's
him.
fine. Like I said, I'm not. You're not getting any epiphany from me. You're not getting an "I'm sorry." It's just the way it is. I just hope you can. Get
I
into
want
my
a
thought-
sorry, damn it.
It's not happening. I hope you can get into my thought process and you can see it.
No, my
You've
job was to
definitely-
tear down
you've
your thought
definitely
process,
gone-
and Brian was to show you the light about what's actually happening. In life.
You've definitely opened up my mind to a couple things already that I didn't root, and you're absolutely right. I was totally off with the timeline part for the trailers and what to expect, which you're absolutely right. I mean, seriously, that's a fact. But I'm still okay, and I'm not worried about Star Wars.
The
because-
Titanic is sinking and CJ's fine.
Oh, you don't understand.
CJ
you
is
have
still
to-
playing his
He's
violin.
out there playing a violin.
Everything's cool.
He's out there.
You know what's hilarious is literally the background to my Mac right now, which I'm looking at as the grand staircase of the Titanic. So, yes. And you know what? The Titanic is sinking because it had to. So just let that be.
I'm just
Star
saying.
Wars is going to be great. Batman vs. Superman is going to be great. Am I going to see him? Hell yeah. Am I going to love him? Absolutely. Am I going to eat my words right or wrong? Fuck right I am. Give me a big old spoon and I'm going to swallow it whole. That's not a problem. But my state of mind right now is I don't understand where I'm coming into for Batman versus Superman, and that makes me anxious, and I'm allowed to be anxious.
So,
and
Paul,
I'm not anxious.
So, Paul, your answer is exactly what
sorry, I'm a
CJ said
douche.
last time.
The answer is I'm sorry I'm a douche, and I hope that you can at least understand my frame of mind. And I am sorry that I don't have some grand epiphany for you. I really would like to be, hey guys, I was really thinking it over and I watched everything again, and you're absolutely right, and I would love that. I would love to absolutely come into Batman versus Superman.
When you say watch
so
everything
fucking
again,
excited.
Do you mean you'll watch the one Star Wars trailer?
The behind the scenes trailer,
slideshow they
man.
have?
Listen, the behind the scenes
That
trailer
slideshow
is
where they
awesome.
showed the dunes of
so
Arizona.
Look at
amazing.
all the wooden ships we've built.
Listen, I love that. Listen, that put more trust into it. If you never even showed me Han and Chewie showing up in there, and all you showed me was that behind the scenes things, I was already on board. Like, you don't understand that that was my matter of
J.J.
trust.
Abrams wasn't going to use practical effects, then you're stupider than I thought.
Listen, there's some movies where he's indulged on CGI.
Yeah,
There's
he's
a problem-
indulged on lens flare, not
yes,
CGI.
he has. No,
So,
he's indulged on CGI in some movies.
Those Star Trek movies have a lot more practical effects in them than you think.
I know they are. I'm not talking about that.
Every chair was real.
And you know what? Unlike other Star Trek movies, every actor's hair was real as well.
That's true. True story.
Very true.
I don't know, man. I think that
listen, I'll totally eat my words when I'm wrong. Like, I am okay enough to admit that. Right now, I'm still uneasy, and I'm very sorry.
all the practical effects built trust for you. What builds trust for me about Dawn of Justice is Batman and Superman.
Right.
Word.
Sorry, we have different perspectives.
I can't wait to punch you in the face at work.
Listen, yes, that's fine. Paul, you are allowed. Paul gets first punch. He's allowed to be mad at me for it, and I'm sorry. I really am. I really do. I hope you really understand that I was because I was telling the guys this. Paul, since you left the message, I've been playing it every day to and from work, listening to what you're saying, and I'm listening to what you're actually saying.
He hears it in his sleep at night.
I
the
hear
melodious tones of Paul.
And what he came up with was hashtag sorry, not sorry.
I'm sorry, not sorry. Yes, unfortunately, that was it. I tried to think of a way that I could be like, you're absolutely right, and I'm so sorry. And then the more
I've thought about this every day, to and from work for a week, and I tell you what, I put a lot of thought into it. And what I came up with was %sign question.
I just wanted to have more. I really wanted to have a good answer for you, Paul, that would really kind of put it to bed. And I couldn't come to grips with the stuff that I saw. I'm still at the same place I was a couple weeks ago.
Paul, Brian and I won the argument for you, whether CJ.
You absolutely did. No, you guys definitely brought up some great points
welcome.
and poked some holes in my thought process. Absolutely.
I'm just going to ignore those holes and continue sinking on the Titanic.
No.
We're good.
Listen, there's only so many
fine. The ship is cut in half.
There was only so many lifeboats, and there was only a certain amount of times you could do it.
Look,
and I'm a third-class citizen.
Your penance for not changing, and I'm fine with you upholding the integrity of your answer, not changing your tune. You do have a penance, though. You must wear a tie to work on. You must wear a tie to work on Monday so that Brian can cut off the front of it.
Yes. Yes.
And post it up in his cubicle as a victory. The Wire style. The bunk got you.
I was just going to say the bunk. The
bunk got you. So you got to wear a tie. Pick your least favorite one. Brian's going to cut off the front of it.
Yes.
Again, I really do want to thank Paul for calling in though and taking the time out of his birthday to leave that message. I'm so sorry it's a disappointing answer, and I know you're going to be mad at me. And I really did. I wanted to make you happy, but I couldn't. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I really do. I hope you know that this is not making me happy to give this answer. I really wanted to give more.
No one believes you.
All right, that's fine. Listen, we encourage you, obviously don't ask me a question because I'm not going to fucking change my mind. encourage you guys, though, to put some stuff in and to leave us a message. And listen, if you're absolutely crazy and you want me to shut the hell up about this and you really want to tell me I'm wrong, just leave the message. If I get enough of them, I'm going to have to concede something at some point. Someone's going to say the magic phrase that just unlocks my brain to be okay. So please give us a call. Please leave us a message. So hit us up on Twitter at That Kind of Nerd. You can use hashtag CJ Sucks. That's right. I'm sure you all want to.
I've named it Mjolnir.
You've named it Mjolnir.
Only Brian can lift it.
That's true. You know why? Because Brian's so strong that he can lift that wiffle bat.
Yeah, saw it coming.
Anyway, get us up on Twitter at That Kind of Nerd. Use your hashtag CJ Sucks because you're going to do it anyway. And here's the phone number that you can call. So if you want to be like Paul, just leave us a sober message at 484 373 4119. I do want to say this. Thank you guys for letting me get out what I had to get out. If you could see the video that I saw as I was speaking, these two guys, I have to give them props for restraining themselves because I could see that they wanted to come to my house and kick me in the crotch until I blacked out.
Is it called a wiffle bat or is it a wiffle ball bat? Because it's not a base bat, it's a baseball bat.
I don't care. It's just a bat that I'm just
asking, is it a wiffle ball bat or is it a wiffle bat?
Do you trust?
Hang on, I got something better.
Do you trust the namers of Whammo to find the name of the bat? do you have trust in them? I do.
He's going to get the bat. He's getting the bat. He's going to decipher.
He actually has it.
What is it?
This is actually not a bat. It is a piece of PVC pipe from my last days at Blockbuster.
That is you cannot hit me with that. A wiffle bat
on it.
And
it says, what does it say?
This is my boomstick.
This is your what?
This is my boomstick.
That's your boomstick.
Yeah, and you will meet it on Monday, CJ.
By the way, it's just a big piece of pipe that says, "This is my boomstick." That is not what I agreed to.
That's the time I had to kill at my days at Blockbuster.
Jesus Christ.
You might want to drill a few holes in that for aerodynamics.
oh, totally. Yeah.
Anyway, listen, after next week's recording, we are going to go to SteelCon in Pittsburgh. We are going to be leaving on Friday the 7th. We'll be there the 8th. And yeah, it's 2 weeks from now. So listen, we may record on the road. We may record there. I don't know exactly what is going to lead us to that night.
It'll likely be a drunken recording in somebody's hotel room. Yeah.
It's not likely it's going to be.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, just let's not spit on anyone's cupcake and call it frosting. That's just what it's going to be. Oh God, it's so sorry. Oh God, it's so good. So stay tuned. I know you do. You love me so much. It's great. So stay tuned. Thank you so much again for calling in, Paul. I'm very sorry. I really am. I know you don't believe me, but I am. And thank you, listeners, for making us part of your drive or your walk around the neighborhood. Thank you guys so much for listening. For the love of God, watch Doctor Who.
No, my job was to tear down your thought process, and Brian was to show you the light about what's actually happening in life.
I'm just going to ignore those holes and continue sinking on the Titanic. We're good.